Well, Justin Baldoni continues to strike. He sent a demand letter to Disney demanding they get ready to unload all of their footage on Ryan Reynolds because it looks like there is a legal battle coming. We also have a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap because we got a new episode, and not gonna lie, it was kind of boring, but I gotta let it that. So let's get into it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome on in. Happy, what's today? Wednesday. Happy hump day. Oof, I went to the Cairo yesterday. I went to go see Dr. Suzanne Chavez, Dr. Susie Chavez, out in Brentwood. It was wild. She's got a gorgeous view of all the canyons and the mountains, and it was just kind of wild to see the Palisades completely burnt to ash. Like, just looking at her window, I will say, surprisingly and overwhelmingly, the air quality has gotten really good. Like, so much so that you can't even see smog. Like, I can clearly see miles and miles and miles around LA. In downtown, you can obviously see the smog. Like, I have a pretty good view of the city, but like, normally you couldn't always see that far depending on clouds or smog. But like, I can say right now, it is very, very clear. The fires are becoming more and more contained. I believe Eaton is getting pretty close. I'll give you a straight up update. Straight up, let's not say. From the Watch Duty app. Yeah, it looks like 45% containment for the Eaton fire and then 19% containment for the Palisades fire. So they are calming down. Things are getting better. There's a bit of a sense of calm starting to come through the city. We've all really come together. We're helping each other. We are really prioritizing community right now, which I think is important. I just want to say thank you again to everybody that has continued to donate, send supplies, send money, whatever you have done. It's all it's all making a really big impact. We have a new episode of the Pop Report out today. So if you guys want to get more into, Andy kind of shares his experience with the fires. He lives in Santa Monica, so he's a lot closer. He's like right next to the Palisades fire. And that was obviously really scary for him. He was like on standby with evacuation notice for the past like week and a half. And even now he says, he's like, we don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I know the winds are picking up again right now in the valley. So we don't know what's going to, I actually have to go to the valley today. I have a dentist appointment with Dr. Gabe Rosenthal, who's doing my teeth. Look at my teeth. They're getting better. So I'll keep you posted on what's going on in the valley. But yeah, just thank you guys so much for all the support that you've shown Los Angeles. It's really important. Tune into the Pop Report today. We have a lot of good messages that we put out in the episode. We talk about how the entertainment world and Hollywood is really shifted as a result of these fires, and what our predictions are for it moving forward. And we got some fun tea. So check out a new episode of the Pop Report. And I'm also on the Sarah Fraser show. Oh, Sharon says she just listened to the Pop Report and it was good. Well, thank you, Sharon, for tuning in. Appreciate you. Sarah Fraser, the Sarah Fraser show. Be sure to tune into that. I'm a guest on her show today, and it's really good. I mean, I might ruffle some feathers a little bit, so just be forewarned. We do talk about Blake and Baldoni. We taped it a little over a week ago, right when the fires had just begun. So there's no fire talk in the Sarah Fraser show, but it was right before everything kind of blew up. And we have a really good combo. So definitely check out the Sarah Fraser show. Show her some love. Check out the Pop Report. Tune in. Thank you guys for the reviews on Apple Podcasts. Keep them coming. Please, please, please. Your support means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for all the love and all the love in the club. Yeah. All right. Shall we get ready to dive on in? Shall we welcome on in? Let's get it. Oh, wow. A lot of new reviews have come in actually on Apple. So refreshing. Finally, some with the brain. Thank you for giving it how it is and not just repeating the same regurgitated things we're told we should think. Thank you, Bluey Poo. We also have KDSJ823 says no filter lives up to the name. Zack and his straight shooter take on Bravo and life. Thank you guys for the reviews. Love you. Appreciate you. I also, sorry, I know this is like a long intro and you guys are probably going to get mad at me, but I wanted to give a shout out to, I guess, formerly the Brav Bros. Steel and Shooter of what used to be known as the Brav Bros have just rebranded and they've renamed their show Bros and Shows. And so I just wanted to give them some love and a bit of a shout out. I'm so excited to see how much they've grown. Holy fuck. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to. We are. I just got the Spotify charts right now. I'm number 5 in Australia right now on Spotify. Holy guacamole. Number 5. Who in Australia is listening to this right now? Thank you to the Australians. All the Aussie love. Number 8 in the US. We've been pretty firm. We were on 7, and now we've been pretty solid on number 8 on the US charts. This is the Spotify top 50. That's not an easy chart to make, but on the Spotify top 50, iTunes gives top 200. Spotify is top 50. I'm number 8 in the US, number 5 in Australia, and number 33 in the UK. Incredible. Thank you guys for the love and support. And also, again, I just wanted to give a shout out to Steel and Shooter. I remember when they first started their podcast, and I remember being like, and I think Steel DM'd me and was like, "Hey, we just started this new podcast, and we would love to come on your show if you'd be open to it." And I was like, "Yeah." I saw them and immediately knew that they were going to be, um, that they were going to definitely blow up. Like I saw it. I was like, they're gonna be huge. People are gonna love them. You know, the gays are gonna jerk off to them. The ladies are gonna be like, oh my God, sliding into the DMs, as I'm sure they do. Steel and Shooter can confirm that for themselves. But I just know they're getting a lot of panties wet. And I was like, they're gonna kill it. And they have. And it's incredible to see them grow. And now they're branching outside of Bravo. So they've rebranded from the Brav Bros to Bros and Shows. And I just wanted to say, congrats to the bros. I don't know all the shows that they'll be covering, but congrats to the bros. Does Steel have buns of steel? I don't know. I haven't seen his buns of steel. He's got guns though. Zack, can we get more? Zack can only get my panties. Shut up. Okay, let's dive in. Zack, what is Jacques' part in Heidi's I'll Do It music video? I saw Spencer tagged him. Yes, so Jacques, my friend Jacques, and Leah McSweeney, actually from The Real Housewives of New York, both of them had a role in Heidi's I'll Do It music video, which is really good. I'm so happy for Heidi Montag. She's been on this podcast before. I've been a big supporter and, have always been so lovingly proud and I've always been Team Spidey. I know that it was popular back in the day to be Team Elsie, and I was never really Team Elsie. I was always Team Spidey. So I'm glad that they have finally come full circle. Yeah. Okay. Justin Baldoni. Okay. We got an update on Blake and Baldoni. So Justin Baldoni, this came out in Variety yesterday, which now also kind of makes me tilt my head the other way. I know I've been like super Team Baldoni in a lot of this, and I've tried to cover it objectively. And the more we've covered it, the more and more I've been leaning more Team Baldoni. But now I'm starting to feel like, now it feels like he's kind of playing a PR game because every move he makes, every move you make, I'll be watching you. Every move he makes ends up in the press, which to me tells me that somebody on his team is tipping people off and tipping off reporters so that we can get more coverage of this. And I think now they're using it as their way of um, controlling the narrative in the press, which is what I think Blake was trying to do. And now it seems like Baldoni's really just going strong with it. We listened to his attorney, Brian Friedman, on the Megyn Kelly podcast, the Megyn Kelly show. That was really good. I really enjoyed that interview. I thought she made a lot of really good points both ways, a lot of really good pro Blake points, but also some solid Baldoni points as well. But so Variety just ran with this article yesterday. Justin Baldoni demands Disney and Marvel preserve all documents relating to Ryan Reynolds' Nicepool in Deadpool and Wolverine amid the Blake Lively legal battle. Here, I'll just kind of skim through this article for you. Apparently, it does not end with them. The fallout radius of the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni legal battle continues to spread. Marvel president Kevin and Disney CEO Bob Iger and director Tim Miller becoming the latest industry figures swept in the drama. Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, sent a litigation hold letter to Disney and Marvel in connection with the client's anticipated claims against Ryan Reynolds. So Variety has viewed a copy of the letter, which calls out for the studio to preserve all relevant documents and data with regards to Baldoni. Okay, so what does this mean? So it's a demand letter that lets them know, hey, we're probably going to be hitting you up in discovery and we're going to subpoena the footage. We're going to subpoena the documents. Unclear which. Um, oh, Brian says that my biceps are looking snatched. Are they? Look, can you see the little vein right here? Boom. It's better to have a vein in your arm than a vein in your dick. But so what does this demand letter mean necessarily? It means that through the discovery process, they want to obtain access to documents and to footage. That way they can verify whether or not Ryan Reynolds did poke fun at Justin Baldoni in the Deadpool movie where he parodies this character, Nicepool. Okay. So Nicepool, to refresh everybody's brain, it was like a parody character in the film, and Nicepool rocks a man bun, which we know Justin Baldoni rocked a man bun because he donated his hair. So he no longer has that man bun, but he was notoriously rocking it for a while. Nicepool has a man bun. Then Nicepool makes comments about Ladypool and her body and how her body's snatched back really quickly after having a baby. And then somebody else is like, you're not allowed to say that about a woman's body. Obviously, that seems to be in relation to the alleged fat shaming of Blake Lively, who had just had a baby before coming onto the set of It Ends With Us. And so there's the man bun, there's the fat shaming, there's the then Nicepool responds by saying, "Don't worry, I'm a feminist." We know Justin Baldoni identifies as a feminist. Nicepool also references a podcast that he has or wants to build, um, capitalizing off of the women's movement. Obviously, Baldoni has his podcast, which is called Man Enough, which is a feminist podcast trying to dismantle toxic masculinity. There's another line later in the film that talks about Nicepool saying that he calls for the intimacy coordinator. He makes comments saying, "Where's the intimacy coordinator?" Obviously, the intimacy coordinator is a big part of the allegations from Blake Lively against Justin Baldoni. And then Ladypool, which I believe was played by Blake Lively. I think she makes a cameo. And so Ladypool comes in and Ladypool she ends up whacking Nicepool. And in the process of eliminating Nicepool, she eliminates Nicepool in front of what appears to be a flower shop. Anybody that's watched It Ends With Us, the movie centers around a flower shop. So Ladypool taking out Nicepool in front of the flower shop, like, you know, it's interesting, but we will dive more into the Blake and Baldoni of it all next week. I have on a couple of guests are coming on. I think Sarah Fraser is going to end up coming on the podcast very soon. But I'm going to bring on Daniel Feruzin, who's going to talk. What's today? Wednesday, Thursday. He's going to be on the podcast. Daniel Feruzin. He's been on this podcast before. He talked about the Girardi trial and the Girardi scandal because he was the last person to interview Tom Girardi before that whole House of Cards came down with the Erica Jane legal drama. And so I'm going to have on Feruzin will be on Thursday to talk about the LA fires and Spencer and Heidi's plan to sue the state of California. Feruzin will talk about that. And then I have Ariadna Jacob, who's going to be coming on the podcast, I believe on Monday. And she's a former talent agent currently suing the New York Times. And so she's going to talk about Baldoni's lawsuit against the New York Times and what she believes is the theory behind why Blake Lively is coming after Justin Baldoni. Her theory is that it's related to a possible morality clause in his contract with the rights to It Starts With Us, which is the sequel that succeeds It Ends With Us. So part 2, he owns the rights to both It Ends With Us and then It Starts With Us, which is the second film, which at this point doesn't appear like it's going to be happening. But so when it comes to It Starts With Us, the theory that Ariadna has is that there's likely a morality clause in his contract with regards to his rights to the film. And if he is in breach of a morality clause, then he will likely have to forfeit the rights to that film, to the second film, therefore giving the author Colleen the opportunity to then give the rights to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So she seems to think that this is likely part of Blake's attempt to get the access to the second movie, which we've heard for some time. I believe Baldoni also makes that allegation in his lawsuit. But so as of right now, he's coming after Disney and he's coming after Marvel, making sure that I think part of the reason he wants this leaked in the press as well is to make sure like these players' names are known and that they are held accountable. So it can't be like, oh, Disney and Marvel just want to give the runaround and give the runaround and give the runaround so they don't have to turn over the footage. But at this point, it's um, Baldoni's going to come out swinging, and he's definitely building a strong case, not just against Blake Lively, but also a strong case against Ryan Reynolds as well. And so, I mean, I'm sure intimidation will come into factor with their lawsuit with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I think that there'll likely be a lot that'll come from that. Leanne Wooten in the live chat says Nicepool was not in the original Marvel comics. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that, but with the Marvel series, but I know a lot of people were confused by Nicepool. But here's the thing that really was just dumb. Had Blake Lively not taken legal action, had she not filed the CRD complaint, had she just kind of let the dust settle after It Ends With Us, it would have been another movie where she seemed like a diva and then we move on and like maybe there are these rumors that she's a diva in Hollywood, but like nobody really knows and they're kind of just like speculation. Like, is she feuding with Anna Kendrick? Is she not feuding with Anna Kendrick? Like what's the situation here, right? But nobody really knows. It's just rumors and speculation. But now she really, I feel like, has tanked her reputation because nobody really seems to be Team Blake. Nobody really seems to be believing her, other than like the Amber Heard, which it's funny that her last name is Heard because the people that like are unapologetically supportive of Amber Heard are like a herd of sheep is really what they are. And they don't really pay attention to, the bigger picture. They're like so hyper focused on proving Amber Heard right. But so I feel like I honestly don't. I mean, people that are Team Blake definitely are not people that understand the details or have read much about the lawsuits. But I just think like nobody would have known about Nicepool. Most people that watch Deadpool are like, I saw the Nicepool thing, but I didn't think too much of it. I didn't read into the intimacy coordinator line. I didn't read into the man bun and they just thought it was like a regular parody of something. So they didn't actually give it much thought. Whereas now we're picking apart everything. We're noticing that Lady Pool took out Nicepool in front of the flower shop, which really does make it look like Ryan Reynolds was trolling Justin Baldoni. And again, if the allegations are so serious to the point where your wife is claiming that she was traumatized as a result of this, and there was, a strong case for intentional infliction of emotional distress, then why is your husband making fun of it in his film? And so it makes Ryan Reynolds look bad, right? We're picking apart Nicepool. And then furthermore, we're hearing about what happened at the premiere and Justin Baldoni being in the basement with his family and his friends. And it's like we're starting to see more and more. And even then, I didn't pay much attention to this, but in Baldoni's claim, he says that she took so much control that she wouldn't even allow Justin Baldoni to be on the movie poster and that she even had his name taken off the poster. And I was like, really? Is that true? Like, did that really happen? And then I went and I looked up the It Ends With Us movie poster, and this is the poster. It's literally just Blake Lively's face and Blake Lively's name. You don't even see Justin Baldoni's name anywhere. I mean, they have Columbia Pictures, Wayfair Studios, a Wayfair and Saks picture company, a film by Justin Baldoni, It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, Jenny Slate, Hassan Minaj, Brandon Schleckner, and Christy Carson. Well, the interesting thing about this too is everybody else's names are all in the teeny tiny little thin fine print at the bottom. All the other actors are down here, including Justin Baldoni, which you would think is strange that Justin Baldoni's even here at the bottom, given that he's the second. He's not first billing, but he's right. He's the main character outside of Blake Lively, but the entire poster. I mean, this alone is wild. When you have a movie that's about more than one character as the main character, like even when you have Spider-Man, right? Like, or the Marvel movies, like, even then, you rarely have just Spider-Man on the cover. You have all the other side characters. You have MJ and you have, all these other, um, characters on the side, Gwen, that are all part of the movie poster, but this poster is literally just Blake Lively's face, and then in big print, Blake Lively, and then everybody else is secondary. So, ooh, like, truly, ooh, does not look good at all. And so you're like, wow, it is true. And then you really start to believe that she was inflicting so much of her own influence into the films. So Brittany says, I wonder if Blake or Baldoni, I feel like butt heads for going this far when people around them are losing everything. It seems so silly to me to begin with, but now it really is. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's silly from his end. This is his entire livelihood. This is his whole world that has been turned upside down as a result of the allegations that she's made, and like for the most part, the damage is done. A lot of people still really believe, not even that he just, harassed her, but people believe that this is full on SA, that it's full on assault. And it's like, and again, they're just people who didn't know the details. So if he wants to work, if he wants to have, something that he can bring in an income for his family and his kids, yeah, he's going to fight to the death. This is his entire livelihood. It's his reputation that he's fighting for. Barbara says, watch Megyn Kelly show. Yesterday, she had Justin's lawyer on. Oh my God, the lawyer has every receipt, all the text messages. Blake Lively is going down. Justin won't back down. She ruined his reputation. He needs it back. Yes, Barbara. The interview I think came out last week, or maybe last weekend, and so we did recap it last week for sure. I think it's hilarious. You can now say Nicepool if Deadpool was a Bahari. Ironically, Blake Lively isn't so lively. I mean, she's very lively, but it's just not very nicely. Bravo, Baldoni. Glad he's being aggressive. I'm glad he's just standing up for himself, right? I don't think it's fair to put somebody in a position where you really are strong arming them. Okay. Well, we'll dive into more of Blake and Baldoni in just a sec, and we'll recap last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But first, dun 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 dun. The start of the new year is a perfect time to get organized. Blake Lively, you better get your lawsuit organized, get organized, set new goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, a top priority for me this year is my financial wellness, which feels like more important now than ever. Thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable. They show me all of my subscriptions all in one place and can help me easily cancel the ones that I forgot about. Right? How many subscriptions have we signed up for streaming services or apps on our phone, and we're paying for them without even realizing it? I mean, I've done it. I've had so many apps where I'm like, what? How am I paying for all of this? And you're just basically bleeding money. But Rocket Money also pulls together all of my spending across all my different accounts so that I can clearly track my spending habits and see where I can cut back. This morning, I got an email from them with suggestions on how I can cut back my spending, which is super helpful. Missing out on a show that everyone's talking about isn't an option for me anymore. Okay. I'm constantly signing up for this streaming service or that streaming service. And then a few months goes by and I realize I've still been paying for the service for a long time, way after I finish the show. So getting Rocket Money is definitely a game changer for me. They'll find all my unwanted subscriptions and even help cancel the ones that I no longer am using. So you never have to worry about them slipping through the cracks, right? Been there, done that. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/nofilter today. That's Rocket Money, ROCKET, rocketmoney.com/nofilter. That's rocketmoney.com/no filter, right? We want to make sure we get control of our finances this year, whatever your goals are. Getting smart about your money is definitely a good one. And then on top of that, since we're talking about all the crazy things we're ready to let go of and gain control of this year, you want to hear a crazy statistic? That's that there's over 10,000 chemicals that have entered our US food supply, and yet the EU limits this to just about 300 additives. I personally don't have the time to sift through every single ingredients label to see what's in my food, which is why I love me some Thrive Market. They came onto my radar a few years. I mean, I quite a while ago now. It's been a few years and I've just jumped back into it and I'm really excited because Thrive Market makes it so easy to find better options without the hassle. One of my favorite features is the Healthy Swap scanner in the Thrive Market app. It's simple. You can scan any item and it'll instantly suggest cleaner, healthier grocery alternatives. For me, this means swapping out sugary snacks for high quality swaps like Chomps beef sticks. You know, I love me some Chomps. Simple Meals crackers. I love the black pepper almond flour crackers, delicious, and even the lesser evil popcorn. I love me some popcorn. And the best part is everything gets delivered right to your door, and I get savings on every single order. Okay. Another thing I love Thrive Market's smart cart feature. It takes the stress out of replacing junk food. When you create your account, Thrive Market asks the questions and automatically builds a grocery cart tailored to your needs, filled with healthier alternatives to your favorite brands. From there, you can just adjust, add, remove items as you need before checking out. I found so many brands that I've never even heard of, and I'm excited to try. So I think it's a great option for me. I think it'll be a great option for you if you're trying to take control of your health this year. So if you are ready for a junk-free start to 2025, head to thrivemarket.com/no filter and you get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. Okay. That's Thrive. THRIVE, thrivemarket.com/no filter. Thrivemarket.com/no filter. Okay. Let's talk Tate. So I'm very curious what you guys are feeling about the Baldoni and Blake stuff. Like, have you shifted? Has your opinion changed at all? Because I feel like I the more I read about everything, the more I continue to be more team Baldoni. And I just think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds did not think this all the way through. And I hope that they get smart about this and kind of just wish it all dies down. But it looks like at this point, Baldoni is absolutely coming for Blake and Ryan and has every intention of seeing this all the way through. The same way Johnny Depp had every intention of seeing it all the way through until he proved Amber Heard wrong. I mean, and it sucks because Blake Lively just used to be that actress from Gossip Girl that I hear is a bit of a diva, and now she's full on been branded as Amber Heard 2.0. And the fact that Amber Heard even came out in defense of Blake Lively, let's read Amber Heard's statement because that was bonkers. Amber Heard, Blake Lively statement. I don't think they're like actual friends. Um, Here we go. Amber Heard speaks out against Blake Lively. Let's see. In an exclusive statement with NBC News, Amber Heard, who now lives in Spain because nobody likes her in the US anymore, said, social media is the absolute personification of the classic saying, a lie travels halfway around the world before the truth gets its boots on. I saw this firsthand and up close. It's as horrifying as it is destructive. Interesting. The thing The funny thing about her statement is she talks about how social media can put out lies before you get to the truth. And the ironic thing is, in court, it was her tweet that was considered defamatory towards Johnny Depp. So it's funny that she legally was held accountable for her own social media account that got her into some legal trouble that got her to lose her case of defamation. Mm. So That's the crazy part is she's just like, "Yeah, I understand it firsthand." Well, it's like, "No shit, bitch, because you got sued and lost in court for defamation over a fucking tweet." You were defaming Johnny Depp over a tweet that you sent out that was clearly, f you knew was false. It was, deliberately like, he was able like, in order to prove a celebrity defamation case, you have to prove malice, and it appears he absolutely was able to prove that she did this, you know, with the intention of hurting his reputation. Can you imagine needing to move to another country because you were lying? Happens all the time. Did Taylor Swift say anything about Blake Lively? No, Taylor Swift has not spoken out in Blake's behalf on Blake's behalf, sorry. So, all I remember about Amber Heard is she shit in the bed. So here's the thing. I ended up hearing about it from people that work for them, and they saw the shit on the bed, and they or had a photo of it, and they all talked about it, and they were like, "Oh my god, we can't believe she shit on the bed," and that's crazy. And she tried to say that it was dog shit and not human shit. How bonkers do you have to be to shit in somebody's bed? Like, that's wild. Taylor Swift is a Trump supporter. Taylor Swift's not a Trump supporter. Taylor Swift literally came out in defense or came out endorsing Kamala Harris. And her whole Miss Americana documentary was like so anti-Trump. That's wild. Leo, Taylor Swift is definitely not a Trump supporter. She's as liberal as they come. Taylor Swift is a secret mean girl only if you cross her as the Sagittarius. That's how we do. Always very strategic. See, but this makes me even think twice about the Taylor Swift. I don't give a shit if the Swifties come for me, but like, it makes me rethink the Scooter Braun stuff. Because like, if you really think about it, she's upset that Scooter Braun owned her music, but like, she ended up not only taking a hit to his reputation, but on top of that, well, I mean, Scooter Braun doesn't sound like a great dude. And now what? Justin Bieber has distanced himself from Scooter Braun and unfollowed him, and seems to be moving on without him. Why is Taylor Swift married to a Trump supporter? Okay, again, Leo, Taylor Swift is not married to anybody. She's not even engaged. Um, and I don't know if Travis Kelsey is a Trump supporter, but even if he is, like, who gives a shit? Um, No, Scooter is horrible. Well, here's the thing. I don't it sounds like Scooter Braun is not a great guy, but when it comes to you can now looking back at it, you can see the media manipulation that Taylor Swift used to ultimately end up winning at the end of the day. Um, Taylor Swift is a hypocrite that loves Donald Trump because Travis Kelsey is a Trump supporter. Okay. Well, I don't care to engage with people that are really dense and not very don't have really intelligent arguments. So I'm just gonna get back to talking about Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun. Um, when it comes to that whole situation of the Masters, right? Like she really used her audience and her platform. She was smart, right? To go out and say, "Hey, this guy stole my music." When legally and in this entertainment world, like masters and owning, music and stuff like that. Like for the most part, artists don't own their own music. That's kind of the reality. Nor do you even make a ton of music unless you have a big label behind you that's kind of like helping to put you out on tour and fronting all the merch and doing all that stuff. It's really hard to make money in that. In entertainment in general, but specifically, with music, I was having a conversation with somebody that was trying to become like a music manager. And we were having a conversation because she's like, how do you monetize off of like social media and TikTok and Instagram, blah, blah. And so we were having, and she's like, I don't understand like how Heidi Montag is like doing really well right now. Like, are people just streaming her music? And like, how does she make money off of all of this music? Yada, yada, yada. Right. And so it was smart of Taylor Swift because not only did she then get to re-record everything and re-release everything, which like totally helped double all of her numbers, but then she got to like make all of this additional money off of it. So I think that she was somebody that had a lot of influence, similar to I'm sure how Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively thought that they had. They probably thought that this was going to be a Taylor Swift versus Scooter Braun sort of battle. But the difference is Taylor Swift is really good at positioning herself as a victim. So even though she signed a contract that essentially ensured that she didn't have the rights to that music and she was never going to get the rights to that music because that's just how the industry works, she was able to take the hit at Scooter Braun and then eventually end up coming out on top and winning by, true. Scooter did say that it was someone in Taylor's camp that messed up the music deal and she covered it up. Yeah. So, and I believe that, like, here's the thing. You also have to put into effect, she was really young at the time, right? She didn't know she was going to blow up with the stardom that she did. She didn't know Kanye was going to really listen. And I do think Kanye was a big part of making Taylor Swift a pop culture talking point, right? Like, people knew of Taylor Swift. She was coming up. I think she would have always been successful regardless. But the Kanye West taking the award away from Taylor Swift, like, the world felt bad for her and the world definitely rallied around her. Similar to like Ariana, right? It's not to say Taylor Swift would not have been successful otherwise. I believe she absolutely would have, but that did kind of, you have these moments that are really defining in terms of like making you a household name in front of other audiences. She already had her fan base, but I think it put her in front of other people that normally would not have cared about her country music and made her a talking point from the MTV, what was it, the VMAs. And so I think she was young, she was naive. She thought, if I have, a label behind me, they're going to take care of me, they're going to look out for me, all of these things, right? And so I feel like she got screwed the same way anybody else that's up and coming as an artist gets screwed in the music industry. She just was smart about it, spoke out about it, used her audience to kind of clap back at Scooter Braun. And like, the reality is he was a businessman that made a business deal and ended up getting the music that, was going to make him a lot of money. It's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, but she came up from it and she definitely, made a lot more money as a result of it. Irma Sanchez says Taylor Swift is not a Trump supporter. Biden has dementia and has not run this country the last 4 years. The Dems are no better than the GOP. Okay, that now we're just, I don't even know what we're fighting about in the live chat, but we're fighting. Brian says, on New Year's Eve, I got into an argument because I said Taylor Swift is not a feminist. She's not a feminist. Let's be very clear about that. Taylor Swift does not support other women. Taylor Swift likes to stand tall on other women's shoulders, but she's not a girl's girl. Like, if we're really being real with ourselves, Taylor Swift is absolutely not a girl's girl. Sorry, not sorry. So I agree with you, Brian. She's absolutely not. Taylor Swift used to have more friends and a crew bestie with Kate. Oh, yeah. Katie Klaus. Rumors say Blake was causing drama with the girls. I mean, maybe. I don't know. You have to think, like, even though they are celebrities, like, or they're people that are well known, that doesn't mean that they also don't have their own inner circle drama. I haven't liked Ariana Grande since she licked the donut. She's just wicked. Yeah. I forgot about Ariana licking the donut. Okay, let's talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Got to give Taylor Swift her props for philanthropy. Yeah, listen, she does a lot. She does a lot of she tries to do a lot of good, right? She tries to pay it forward. So I think that's a good thing. Let's see. We need to protect our donut. Ariana is the Elizabeth Taylor of our time. I can see that. I mean, I've always said, and I know that this is controversial and people don't like when I say it, but I've always said Kim Kardashian is the Marilyn Monroe of our time. And I know people don't like, they're like, what? No, she's trash. But like, you also have to remember, like, Marilyn Monroe wasn't always the classy lady, right? She was like the wind blowing up her skirt and she was posing naked for the photographer that Playboy ended up buying. And like, obviously, Playboy took advantage of her in that way. And like, that was awful of Hugh Hefner to do. But I definitely think that Marilyn Monroe I definitely think Kim Kardashian is our modern Marilyn Monroe. Whether people want to agree with that or not, I fully stand by that. She's just such a polarizing figure that leans into her femininity, that leans into, allowing her body to be sexualized, or maybe Pamela Anderson is like a Marilyn Monroe as well. Yeah, I don't know. Taylor's way too calculated to get wrapped up in this PR mess. Yeah, Taylor Swift ain't coming out to defend Blake Lively. That's for damn sure. Taylor Swift would rather hug Brittany Mahomes. That says a lot, you guys. Taylor Swift got a lot of shit for befriending Brittany Mahomes, right? Because Brittany Mahomes people believe is a Trump supporter. And so for Taylor Swift to lean more into her friendship with Brittany Mahomes than to come out and defend Blake Lively in any of this, wild. That alone says a lot. Like, if Taylor's really willing to fully align with somebody that people really believe is a full Trumper, let alone Blake Lively, again, that tells you everything you need to know about either Taylor Swift's friendships and her reputation and how mindful she is of that. And also, she probably doesn't even believe um, Blake Lively. Leo says, actions speak louder than words. I agree. Lori says, like I said, my boyfriend's a Trump supporter, and it's so ridiculous that we're supposed to hate each other. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like how we listen. I have friends on both sides of the political spectrum. I mean, a lot of people watching this show right now, or I trust you guys watch it every day. Hit the like button if you're if you're liking this episode. But like I don't think it's terrible if you lean one way or the other. I support you doing you, whatever you feel is in the best interest for your life and your country. I fully support that, whether I see it the same way or not. You are my fire. That's her boyfriend's best friend's wife. Of course, they're going to have a friendship. Yeah, and like, why shouldn't they? We're not even checking for Mahomes. He ain't Brady or Rodgers. Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? I like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know much about Tom Brady. His face kind of scares me now that it's becoming more like a Ken doll. Um, or who? Oh, I did have a Nick Bosa has been my new one. Love me some Nick Bosa. What I would do for a night at Bossa Nova with Nick Bosa. Okay. I love Nirvana. Thank you. My Nirvana. I'm rocking my Nirvana shirt right now. Oh shit. I have to run to the dentist soon. But where were we? Beverly Hills. So last night, kind of I'm gonna say it. Boring episode of The Real Houses of Beverly Hills. We open up. What did we even know? Oh, we open up back at the what was it? The not the Viper Room. Where were they at? I even forgot the name of the club that they were at where Erica debuted her new song, Bounce. Gonna make them titties bounce, 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 bounce. And so we pick up with Dorit versus Kyle, and they're getting into it, and they're yelling at each other, and then Dorit ends up leaving and walking out, and then we just have all these boring fluff filler scenes. I guess we see Kyle sitting down with Sutton and Garcelle, and it's just kind of weird to believe that like Kyle and Sutton and Kyle and Garcelle are like all real friends. Like I don't buy the friendship. I don't believe them. And then you see that in this conversation, Sutton kind of alludes to Kyle dealing with infidelity in her marriage. And Kyle right away, I think on the after show said that she didn't believe that that was a slip of the tongue where Sutton's like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Things just come out of my mouth. I'm so crazy. And so Kyle's just like, I don't even know what that accent was. I apologize for that. Oh, it was the Viper Room? Um, it was the Viper Room, right? Uh, but so Kyle is sitting there and talking about her text messages with PK, and then there's a very strange text message where Kyle talks about I won't share the things that you've shared with me, is what Kyle says in one of the text messages, and they're like, whoa, well, this kind of sounds like maybe there's more to the text messages than Kyle wants to lead on. Maybe they're not just memes, and I didn't think that they were just memes. I'm sure Kyle and PK have had intimate conversations about his relationship with Dorit. I'm sure they came to this common ground over thinking that Dorit has changed because Kyle has said it and PK has said it. And they both said it in interviews publicly that they believe that Dorit has changed. So them both saying that means they're both on the same page about that. So I'm sure they've discussed that. But for Sutton to take the low blow, bringing up the infidelity thing is kind of, it's a cheap shot. It's a low blow. And for her then to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Like, no, you knew what you were doing. And Kyle even agrees. She's like, Sutton knew what she was doing. And Erica agrees. Like, Sutton knows what she's doing. She's not that dumb. So we have that scene. And then they decide that they're going to, or we see Erica and Dorit shopping for furniture, which good for Erica. Glad she's able to rebuild. And she says that, when she left Tom, she didn't take much. She took 4 plates and 4 cups, 4 mugs. That way she had a little bit of something, but she's like, I'm not going to take everything. I'm not going to clean him out. Where she says his last wife cleaned everything out. She showed up with trucks and took everything. She's like, she didn't even leave Tom with toilet paper. And I was like, damn, she knew a pandemic was coming because she took all the toilet paper. Erica's like, I wasn't going to do that. Basically came with the clothes off my back and kept it moving. And so then we see that Sutton and Garcelle and Kyle, they're all like, you know, Erica didn't get a pizza party. We were all like ragging on her when she was going through her financial or her legal drama and her divorce from Tom Girardi, and like, let's have a pizza party for Erica. And so you think that they're going to do something special. And even Erica's like, oh my God, they're blindfolding me. They're going to take me on a private jet. Like, Sutton can afford it, right? Kyle can afford it. So like, you're thinking they're going to do something nice and special for Erica. And instead, they take her to the fucking Chuck E. Cheese. And I was like, Chuck E. Cheese? We went to you took her to Chuck E. Cheese? Like, how tacky is that? How lame is that? I'm like, I get it. It's within Garcelle's budget, but like, come on. Sutton could have chipped in to cover for Garcelle. We didn't have to go to the Chuck E. Cheese. Sutton makes $300,000 per month in alimony, and we took her to Chuck E. Cheese. Lori said that isn't even good pizza, right? At least, or like, do pizza making. Let's do a pizza party where we have a chef and we do custom pizza making in the beach in the Malibu. Well, Malibu not right now, but like TK says, Chuck E. Cheese is grow. Chuck E. Cheese, they're still, yeah, there still are Chuck E. Cheese. They had to go all the way out to Garcelle's beach house in Bakersfield in order to find a Chuck E. Cheese, but they were able to find one. Mallory says Erica talked about it on the after show and she liked it. I thought she was a good sport. She's definitely a good sport. I will say that. She's a good sport. But that was still fucked up. Like, they kicked her while she was down, and the best they can do to make up for it was take her to Chuck E. Cheese. There's not even, at least take her to like Dave and Buster's where there's alcohol. If you want to make it an activity, like go to Top Golf, go bowling. They have so many fun bowling alleys now where, there's like a really cool one in Highland Park where it's like old school. And they have a bar and like something fun. Like, do not take me somewhere where there is no alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Wanda says low blow from the rich ladies, low blow. But here's the thing. I think the same way Sutton took the jab at Kyle with the infidelity stuff, I think it was also like a dig at Erica, being like, you're complaining about your pizza party and you want to talk, fine, we'll take you to the pizza party. And they did it in a shady way that was like, we're not going to give you much because like we still don't agree with you and the Girardi stuff and blah blah blah. And so I think, I think there was some shade in it. And Erica, very similarly to how Kyle didn't give Sutton the reaction that she wanted, I think Erica was like, I'm going to make the best of this. I'm going to have fun. Let's go play at Chuck E. Cheese and have a good time. Like, she's like, let me make the best of this. I mean, trust me, when cameras go down, you better believe I would have been talking shit. But like, she was a good sport. Erica had pizza party behavior. Yes, she did. She had fun and she made the best of it. Good for her. But still fucked up. Again, I understand it was within Garcelle's budget. And I'm sure it was down the street from her Bakersfield beach house. But like, come on. Anywhere but Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, truly. Chuck E. Cheese is for children. No grown adult. I mean, like, people complain about Disney adults going to Disneyland and Disney Worlds and whatnot. But like, Chuck E. Cheese, come on. Not the shade on Garcelle, the only one that was actually self-made there with talent. I disagree. She was not self-made. What is this? Mayor Karen Bass, deputy who oversees LAFD, is on administrative leave. Mayor Karen Bass's deputy who oversees the LA Fire Department is on administrative leave. Oof. You can't get into Chuck E. Cheese without a kid. Really? I mean, well, they had Sutton with them, and Kyle's short, so I'm sure they were like, oh, the children are here. Garcelle's most definitely self-made. Maybe. I don't know much about Garcelle's history. Maybe she is self-made. I don't know her story. I just know she was married to a very wealthy husband that I believe still helps provide for her children. So that's again the most I know about her, and she, is rocking those Tubi movies. Sutton is a mean child. She's not very nice. Don't forget Garcelle. It's okay with lesbian behavior. That was a good. A moment that I appreciated from Garcelle, where she was telling Kyle, like, it's okay, you can be a lesbian if you want to be a lesbian. That was funny, and I think that was a good moment. I was here for that one. And then how did the episode end? Oh, it ended very anticlimactically with Garcelle sitting down with Bose and then talking about the text message and letting Bose know. And again, this very housewives thing. You take a piece of information, you give it to the new girl so that the new girl can bring it up the next time you're all in a group setting, and you don't have to be the one to bring it up because the new girl brought it up. Tale as old as time. So we'll see. We shall see what happens on Beverly Hills, but it was a really boring episode. There's Roni, and I know the finale is coming up, but I'm also kind of just like yawn with that. I'm not interested in watching Roni. We'll see. Mary Duda said, did Bose lose her house? Yes, Bose lost her house in the LA fires, which was sad and unfortunate, but that is true. She absolutely did lose her house. Watch What Happens Live was the most brutal with Roni. Why was it brutal? What was brutal about? Who was on it? Jessel and Aaron? I know Aaron was on it, but was it Jessel and Aaron? Or was it Cy? No, it was Cy and Aaron, right? But Lori, what was so bad about it? I didn't watch, so I only watched Beverly Hills. And again, it was Cy, yeah. Bose lost one of her houses, not the one you saw last night. Oh, so Bose has more than one house? I mean, again, that's still terrible that she lost any of her houses, but I mean, when you got more than one house to lose, that is a very privileged place to be, you know? Well, Janelle, I think that's all I got for you. It was the one near Malibu. Oh, so we haven't seen that one yet, have we? I think the one that we're seeing on Beverly Hills is the one that we have seen since the beginning. All right. It was her beach house that burned. Got it. Bose lost her beach house. Got it. Thank you guys for clarifying. All right. Check out a new episode of the Pop Report. Definitely be sure to tune into the Sarah Fraser Show. I am on the Sarah Fraser Show this week. I believe the new episode dropped today. So after this, you have 2 other podcasts you can listen to. If you want more content, you can listen to the Pop Report, which is my other podcast, and you can listen to the Sarah Fraser Show. Both really good conversations. I think that you'll enjoy them. So definitely be sure to tune in. Thank you for listening and supporting, and be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. You want to make sure you get the tea as it's hot, right? Get the tea. So if you're enjoying the show, definitely leave me a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Be sure to comment if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching on Spotify. Stay tuned. More tea to come. Love you. Appreciate you. Give me a follow at Just Been Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. And be safe. Appreciate your loved ones, the people that you have in your life, your home, all these things that we take for granted as luxuries. So many people have lost. They're literally asking for donations for blankets and toothbrushes and deodorant, like little things that we're not even, thinking about. Claudia says Blake Lively thanked Nicepool in It Ends With Us credits. Oh, I didn't realize that. Ooh, that makes it look even worse. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Yes, Brian, we will get a members only this week for sure. What's today? Wednesday? Probably Thursday night. Yeah, we'll get back on track. All right. Thank you, guys. Love you. Appreciate you. Talk to you tomorrow. Ciao for now.